Alright, so what we're going to do is flip this. You probably do not need to wash this, Robert. This is, you can. I'm not saying you can't, but it's probably slightly past your skill set right now. But you are more than welcome to wash. So the first thing you gotta do, obviously, is make sure color's melted in, or just use a piece of clear or a piece of solid, whatever. Like my shit is melted in all the way. I got it melted in here, I flipped it, I melted it in. The shit has to be fucking even. If it's not even, you're gonna have difficulties. So the whole kick is melting it in nice and good, even wall thickness. So I myself probably could have melted it in slightly better, looking at how this is coming out right now with a little wonky on it. But that's because I didn't have enough grit in there. Sean, could you go grab that disc out of the kiln pretty please? So one thing when you do this is you definitely don't want, notice how I'm not getting my flame to shoot up inside of this, because I don't want my color to come on the outside. Oh damn, look at that. Almost the same size. So the best thing too is to make sure you're putting it up just even to even. Coffee drinking is not the best thing in the morning either. So the best bet too is just to kind of get that in there. It's not bad. Oh, did that just break? Did you guys hear that? I don't see anything pop. That was really strange. So I feel really good about that. So I don't put this in there. When I put these together, I don't do it when it's wet, because it's just a pain in the ass. So once I'm happy with it right there, then I'll just come back here, make sure that tacks, come to this side, heat it up, and I'm not really heating the disc up, I'm heating the other part up, and now it's kind of tacked. I feel good. So take that bitch off. That's a trick. Cool it down with your pad, and that'll go ahead and plop that bitch out. So now it's melting it down, and we're going to go ahead and flip the axis of this piece. So we got to let this melt down nice and even. Need to get some more heat back here. This front is pretty thin, where the lip on this piece was lipped up. So that's going to be a challenge right there. It's not a big challenge, but right where the weld is together, there's obviously going to be a ridge in there. And you can see right there where it's thin and then thick. But no big deal. We'll go ahead and let this go down. Now once I get some heat in there and it's doing whatever, I'll just go ahead and close this up a little bit. Oh, not going. Now I'm going to go ahead and get this down. So that's starting to get, this back here is a little bit thinner, and you can still see on that window, that one part right there is thinner. It's alright, we're going to heat up in the back here. We're going to heat up right here. We're going to heat up back here. So then too, we can let it gather. We'll let it gather out this way. Trying to get this rib right there where I welded it to. They need to be the same thickness. Now that it's getting down like that, those thicknesses are melding and coming together. So now I'm going to start pulling this down and everything because I need to flip it. So I'm going to pull it down until where I feel I'm in the center of this entire mass of glass. Minus some back here because I don't got enough color back there, but I didn't want it back there because I knew I was going to get rid of it. So I can still see there's a lip, a ridge right there because it's darker. So letting this gather up, gather back down because there is a thin spot there around that window. I can still see it. And thicker behind the window. Where the ridge on the window that was thick and where we welded it are trying to become the same. So we'll go ahead and heat that up right there in that ridge. Alright, that's starting to feel like the wall thicknesses are good up there. Now I'm going to let this thing come back and get bigger. So I'm really watching, are my colors, are my oranges, the heat structure, the heat saturation. Is it proper? Is it right? Is it good? If it's not, there's going to be issues down the road. Everything comes down to wall thickness, proper wall thickness. We'll turn this thing down because it's getting a little bit too much back here. Trying to get this to come down. We'll hold this down like this. Keep that a little thinner right there in that wall thickness up front because it will start to spread out. You getting hot back there, Sean? Mm-hmm. So one thing I also want to do is when I'm doing this, depending on how small or big, you don't want to spin it too fast because if you spin it too fast, you're going to wonk it out and it's going to just because of centrifugal force, you're going to wonk it out. So I'm really trying to get this back, but somewhat difficult because you'll come back to your blow tube. Alright, that's feeling like I'm about half of it. Let the glass gather, let the heat penetrate properly. Sweat puff after the saturation. Okay, I feel really good about that. Let it cool down a little bit. And now I'm going to go ahead and flip the access. So it doesn't matter where I pick. I'm going to pick right there on the oblong side, because I'm going to oblong it anyways. And this is not going to be my finished piece right here. I'm going to flip it one more time after this. I'm not going to try. I don't try to fuck around. I just try to do it. So I feel this is about halfway. Halfway between the glob of glass. So again, I heat that up. Get in there. Get that opened up a little bit. Open it up without allowing my heat to penetrate up inside that hole, because again, as I always go, I don't want to get my color to bleed out. So I just, every piece I do, whether it's for the end or not, just make sure you do it. Keep those skills honed. Okay, so I ain't really too much worried about this. I'm going to be flipping this thing. So I don't even give a fuck about this weld, because I'm going to be putting so much heat into it, this weld is not going to break. I used to do a whole bunch of welding on it to make it good, but fuck that shit now. So we'll just make sure it's tight as can be there, and that's good enough. Let it harden up. So I'm coming straight down from that piece, and we're going to heat this up back here. Let that cool down. Look at that, we already got it flipped. Can you believe that? Not really, but almost, right? So watch a feet back here, because I got some nar doo-doo back there that I don't want. And I could have removed before, but I didn't want to. So I do this so I make sure I don't get any heat on my blow tube, because I definitely don't want it there. Okay. And everybody go check out elevatepresents.com, elevateforbeer.com. We have chingaderas on there. Go check those chingaderas out. Okay, that's a nice pretty little window there, Jeff. So I get that down, and then I get this thin. Terminations, thin. Pull it out, little. The little better. Okay, that's really little. Now, I'm not going to allow that to blow down and do whatever. I'm going to really focus on my termination. I always focus on my terminations. Blow that thing out. Make my termination beautiful. So it's melting down nice and smooth, because I melted it in to begin with. puff this out. Keep that thing going. So now that it's melting back down into it and I'm getting this side back down, I'll throw more heat here to get this wall thickness better, because obviously where I blew it out right in the front there, you can see it's glowing more because it's thinner. So we're just trying to get some heat to penetrate this all properly. Now that it's proper, or getting more proper, give it a tiny little saturation and a little puff. Okay, so now that I got that, I'm feeling it, that this is not bad, and I'm going to start rotating it. The rotation needs to happen slow. The slower the better your piece will turn out.
Going for a can shape now?
Yep. And when I'm rolling this down, this back end that's thinner back here is going to start gathering up as I roll it. Throw some heat up here because back here is thinner than the front. And then I kind of, more than the sides of this front, I'm really trying to we'll let this start to gather down this way to get it back to a tube and get all this, because this front is definitely not a nice even wall thickness. We'll do that, get it down. Tiny little itty bitty puff just to start getting our round shape back again. But again, less is more. You put too much heat in here and it starts to flop on you, it's going to just jack up your pattern on the front.
So you're kind of cooling it down with the graphite too?
Yeah, every time you put it down, it's cooling down for sure. But I don't want it too cold, so that's why I just do it really quick and then put it back in the flame again. Blow that out. See, it's starting to get its shape now. And I only worry really about 1/2 to 2/3 of this front. So let it gather out like this, and this is going to let it stretch, obviously, but now I'm going to let it stretch back into itself. Stretch it out, thin it out, gather it back, feel it thicken up. Look at that. It's almost flipped. So I'm going to start getting this down a little bit, smaller, getting it. You can see it's glowing really evenly. I still feel on the back side it could get a little bit more condensed back there, so the wall thickness is even. Because again, everything needs to be even. I can't stress how important an even wall thickness is. Without it, you're just setting yourself up for not as fun of an adventure. Prep is everything. You fuck the prep, your piece is going to be as good as you did your prep. Now this is a big piece. Usually I don't go this big. Pretty much I always go this big though for my Frankenhaus body. I need a lot of glass. So it's starting to go down, getting more of the tube shape, can shape.
help keep your window round?
So the marbling just gets it so my wall thickness is all the same.
Okay.
Me not letting it get soupy and droopy and everything like that, that's what keeps my window round.
That's what keeps your window round. Okay.
Like once it gets malleable, I come down here and I marble it. And then I keep that wall thickness. Mostly it's to penetrate and keep the wall thickness the same, everything like that. So you can see this is really starting to, the wall thickness is really starting to get good right there. My tube is small in the back, decent size for me. All right, I feel pretty good about that. Feel really good that my wall thickness is fairly consistent back there. I'm gonna flip this mofo one last time. I highly recommend a blast shield when you're doing something like this.
What's up, guys? What's up, dude? What's up, Chris? How you doing?
Could you just keep quiet, please? So I'm definitely going to want to thicken this up a little bit right here, so that when I go to weld up to it, everything's nice and beautiful. Again, prep is everything, nice and beautiful. I like a big hot stick, long stick to keep my heat penetration away from me. If I don't have to deal with as much heat, I definitely prefer that. Again, I feel the blast shield is remarkable. So we'll do a nice weld on you here, because this is going to be just because I'm going to do a nice weld. Put that wall thickness thickening up on my weld and everything. And I got a nice beautiful little weld on there. I'll go ahead and let that start to cool down. Throw some heat back here. Again, terminations, very important. Then this thing is pissed. So I'm going to power some heat in, because we don't have this back third to 1/2. I'll say back third is not, it's fuck down, right? This is blowing in the front because it's so thin. We'll close this up, let it start evening out. Take off my blow tube because I just don't need it now. Right. So you can see there's some spots over here that are glowing more than other spots. Part of the window right there is starting to get hotter than other parts. If for some reason your window spins a little bit from doing that, spin it the other way. Unfucking spin that shit. Preferably, don't get it so juicy that it spins. Let it gather here. I'm getting it to gather up. Get the wall thickness is nice and good and happy. Yeah, baby, those wall thicknesses are pretty fucking nice now. And it happened so quickly on that end because it was already a lot of work into it. And stretch it out now. I'm going to let it stretch out. Let my wall thickness stretch out. My wall thickness gather in a little bit. That's that. That is a flipped can. I'm not going to show you no more because then I go into my functional. Nobody needs to see that. You figure that out on your own if you want to copy me. But that's that. Oh, get over the fucking window. Nice and round. Gangster. That's it for me for today. Check out 7thfloorvapes.com, elevatepremier.com. Elevate presents and elevate your life.